Our Muskoka winter adventure that involves cross tours needed to have some frame of reference. So earlier, we used a big American Dodge 4x4 just to kind of bracket the performance level of these cars. Then, of course, we wanted to bring in a more conventional SUV. This grille speaks volumes. For 50 years, it's meant Jeep. Now, a Jeep isn't what it used to be. It's a much more refined vehicle than it ever was. And it's a good way for Andy and Hugh to try to get a hold of what a 4x4 does and then go ahead and compare it to a bunch of crossovers. What does that mean to them? It means they get to bomb around Muskoka on a beautiful day and just have a lot of fun with truly a good-looking car. Well, it's not every day that I have the opportunity to have a first drive in anything. I think the last time I drove a Jeep of any sort has to go back 10 years ago. And I think that one was a Grand Cherokee. This particular one is beautifully appointed. It seems that when Chrysler got involved with Jeep, the refinement happened gradually rather than all at once. But what we're sitting in here is a very beautifully appointed car. And we're just around town here in Huntsville, in Muskoka, trying not to tear up more cars on our cross tour adventure. But having got in this one with its heated seats, its beautiful appointments, great radio, satellite, navigation, it really is a very pleasant car on its first impression.
Generally, when I have these vehicles on test, I only get them for a short little time. The Jeep here, I've enjoyed driving this one so much, I signed it out as my long-term tester, so I've had quite a bit of time to get used to it. For a vehicle that its true roots are from a military perspective, this thing couldn't be any more civilized. It's got a ton of wicked features in it. It's got a heated steering wheel, which 5 years ago, that was something you only found in a Bentley. Now we're getting this into a Chrysler product. The refinement in this truck is truly bespoke of something more like a Land Rover. Air ride suspension just eats up the frost heaves. We've got multi-adjustable suspension control right here. When you select the sport mode, it automatically kicks off the traction control for you, lowers the vehicle ride height. Most of the time, just leave it in automatic. But I do like the fact that twist the knob, traction control goes out, now we can have a bit of fun and we can play. It is an all-wheel drive vehicle, so if you're into doing burnouts like I am, it's not going to happen. This truck here is equipped with a V6 variable valve timing, variable cam timing engine. It's actually quite a responsive little piece. You got to remember it is a V6. It's not going to light the world on fire, but it does get the job done.
And the thing is, this Grand Cherokee we're driving, it's not even the top-of-the-line V8 model, it's the V6, powered by the new 3.6 litre Pentastar engine. And normally when you buy something like this and you go for the base engine, it's kind of a bit of a penalty box. You know, you've got this heavy truck and that barely can get out of its own way. Well, this one, it's actually got quite a bit of giddy up. And credit to Chrysler, it's also got this fuel shut-off thing, which basically conserves fuel economy. And these days, with the bloody price of fuel going up, it seems every hour, thanks to all that nonsense going on in the Middle East, especially Libya, you know, perhaps it's a shrewd move to go for the V6.
I like the idea of the 6-cylinder engine switching down to 3 when you don't need the extra power. Now, naturally, there's a fuel savings there, but it's also reflected through the gas pedal. You can roll into the throttle at these slow speeds. It's very easy to keep it smooth. And just one more way that Chrysler Corporation has refined this Jeep into something that is decidedly not general purpose. You know, the term Jeep comes from the general purpose vehicle, GP, Jeep. The Army's always doing stuff like that. And when the name stuck, it sort of made for the very first utility vehicle. The early ones had heaters in them, they had windshield wipers on them, but they were definitely trucks that were meant for general purpose. In other words, a true utility vehicle. Well, this one couldn't be further away from that. This one is really a luxury SUV.
Driving this reminds me of perhaps driving a Range Rover. Well, Of course, where I come from, that's the sort of standard luxury SUV, if you will. And even sitting here, you know, on the wrong side of the car, driving on the wrong side of the road, I still get that sort of sense of comfort. Like, Jeep is really kind of pushing for that Range Rover-esque refinement. And to give them credit, they're not really that far off.
Every minute that passes while I sit behind the steering wheel of this car gives me another reason to be impressed. The instruments are simply laid out, and the coloring of them is very easy to look at. White on black. Why don't we all do that? It should be a standard in the industry. Naturally, there's GPS in here. I'm sitting on a heated seat. There's satellite radio and every other luxury item that you could ever want. A beautiful sunroof to let the light in, and you're sitting in a vehicle that could just as easily cost $90,000 as it costs $40,000. So you have to ask yourself, at the end of the day, do you need a car like this? Well, you might need a sport utility vehicle, but you don't really need a car like this. But do you want a car like this? After having not driven a Jeep for 10 years, I'm very surprised to say the more I drive it, the more I do want a car just like this.